Hello.
Hi, good evening. Give me 1 second. And let's see.
The UI part is done, but having some issue with the controllers. I done that functionality via our hand controller, but when we do with the hands, like when we interact with the UI with our hands, then like the scroll view is not working due to some conditions. So currently, I'm looking on that.
Okay. So I think because we had a meeting yesterday, and after UI and then the voiceover SDK will taken over by Xiaohan. And the UI issue, could you repeat that again? The issue with exactly what maybe some of us can help.
Let me share my screen and I'll show you via the one minute.
Oh. Mhm.
Mhm. Let me open. So you can see
Yay.
the UI is done and you can also see currently I am doing with my hands, like hand controller.
Oh, really? Oh, but then there's the overlay of hand control consoles there. Oh, you said you are doing with hand console?
Yes, like here you can see my hand.
Yeah, yes.
When
Woohoo.
I am doing this due to the conditions, it's not
Oh,
happening.
whoopsie.
So I am just finding that how I can know that the player is something like this walking or not, like this one.
That doesn't work, the poking feature?
Uh, yeah, it's work, but let me show you one minute.
Very cool.
Mm, I think I got this one. So, mm, so here is the condition, like in the swipe script. Like currently, I manage that hand controller. Like here is the script for snapping that snapping the UI.
Mm.
Like so, I'm just looking for the hand tracking and let me also play. So when you swipe, it will work, and also this button will also be highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tap on the button, it's taking means you have to press very hard to click on the button.
Mm-hmm.
So as of now, I will disable that. When you tap on the button, it will switch to that index of pair.
It will
because
say change the setting to what?
means as you know, like when I tap on this second button,
Mm-hmm.
it will redirect to the second page, right?
Right.
So currently we have to disable that as of now because currently I just fixed this issue like a swapping issue like swallow issue using
Mm-hmm.
hand controller due to this value by using this value. So as of now this button will not interactable,
Mm-hmm.
but I am currently doing research.
Okay.
I will find something helpful. So
Well, yeah.
that's it for my side.
Okay, good. I think the poking feature actually, even in the MetaQuest 3 too, it's a bit difficult. Whenever I try to use the poking feature, that
It's
kind of
not a
challenging.
difficult, but the difficult and hard thing is that to extract the value from that feature, like
Mm,
how much is you are poking or not, or something like.
Yeah, I'm also like I'm currently working on the poke interaction because it kind of like detects the I'm faking the hover effect and the poke interaction have this feature and it's like hard to uh, yeah to find the proper documentation file for that one because they updated the information
I see.
and some like tutorials which were like that everyone kind of making I mean was making it just like outdated.
Yeah. Um, I I haven't actually. I just went through one of the posts that Kate you just posted. But if you have any questions, I think there was another question about poking yesterday too during the office hour. Have you gone through their question channel?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I
Have,
think were you able to get into their question channel in the dev post?
um I'm not sure.
Okay, let me show you. Because in order to get to, let me share my screen. Um, where's this dev post? Before I didn't have it, but I had to make the changes to the role. And then finally, I think I have the access to MetaQuest Presence platform. So if you go to dev post and then if you are in the server, then you have to do this and you do the checkbox here in order to be able to see MetaQuest Presence platform. And once there, you can ask tech questions. And then they have all these questions. And yesterday, Ashray was able to answer some of the questions. And if he couldn't, then he said he's going to get back to you. So if you have any questions and get stuck, maybe you can post here too to get some help. Yeah.
So the one where you click the reactions, which one more time the channel was it?
It was here, sorry, hackathon check-in. So there's only one post for that. And this only happens if you do,
Because I even don't have that channel.
I didn't have it. This only happened. Here. So channels, roles, browse channels, scroll. So this one, let me try to do that. Oh, where did it go? Where are you? Where are you? Here. Yeah, so because they just kept sending me the server address and still I didn't see it. So what do you have to do
Just,
is
let me share my screen. I think I
okay. Let me unshare my screen. Stop sharing. Okay.
so I go to this dev post channel and roles. There is a
Mm-hmm.
browse
On the
and here is
browser channel. Mm-hmm.
platform hack.
Med-
There is
uh-huh. Got it.
and
Oh,
also
amazing.
episodes like you can just join them, I think.
Yeah, just got it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So if you do that, you should be able to see all these ones there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um,
Also they have team building here. I didn't see that. Okay. Okay, I have to look into this. But anyways, there are tech questions, and those are the ones.
but
Mhm.
actually, recently, 10 or like 12 minutes ago, I found a tutorial which explains the recent book
Of
interaction
course.
features.
Of course, it always happens. It always happens. Yeah, I know. I'm like I need help. Like, and then I figured it out. That happens a lot too. So, but it's good that we figure it out. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. Then so I guess after Arjun is done with the UI, and then if you can share, and then as I've said before, if you publish it online, and then we could get it, and
I will make mm, or like I will make the package of my UI work and then I will share you.
mm-hmm,
And also you have to like import that one package
mm-hmm.
like called let me check that package. Mm, it's like a
So
Meta XR interaction SDK. Well, I am sharing in the Zoom and in the chat. You have to install these two
mm-hmm.
packages into the project.
Okay. All right. So medic, sorry, interaction SDK, their integration, medic, sorry. Okay. So those ones. Let me write that now. We're waiting a minute. Activation.
Yeah, I forgot about that Game 5D channel. Yet.
Could you repeat that again, Arjun?
Means I forgot about that Game 5D official channel, which this channel is currently new and it's making a tutorial on Meta's new XR SDK as well.
So 5D official. Okay, okay. Yes. So there we go. Good, good, good. Awesome. All right. So that's that part. So that's the UI part. Now let's move on to the second part. Um, let's see. What about the conveyor belt? And yeah, how is that going? Conveyor belt, and the last thing we saw was video of two portals connecting together. Shawan is here, right? Do, do, do.
Yeah, I need to make a quick comment on the UI first. If you want
Okay.
to make it uh public, you actually make it public. Like you don't just share a package because it's still private. It's very different from public resources, like publishing it on GitHub and making your repo public.
Yes, so that one I'm gonna talk with Arjun separately about that so that we make sure that it's online and it's searchable.
I'm just only using one script. I'm not using the package.
Yeah. So I mean that's what Shawan is trying to say is that it has to be searchable on Google. So if you let's say creating a UI, then we should be able to find your package online. So that's what we mean. But I will have a separate talk about that, Arjun, so that it's accessible via what is it? On a Google search or something like that. I am aware of this. All right. Okay, what about the conveyor belt and yes, you saw those ones. How is that going?
Yeah, so I got the half circle figured out, but then the next thing I'm thinking is to like populate the curve with actual conveyor belts
Mm-hmm.
and um uh Japanese letters and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a very obvious problem. Like
Mm.
you have to you have to determine the orientation of the conveyor belts if it's actually a conveyor belt, which is very non-trivial. So I suggest we change it to a tube, so we don't have to worry about the orientation anymore.
What? So if you change it to the tube, what would be the difference? So as in, yeah, I don't understand why what's the implication if you change it to the tube instead of, let's say, a flat conveyor belt.
Well, a tube is axial symmetrical, so you don't have to worry about the orientation. If it's a flat belt, like if one point is what should I say? Like if one point is on the floor and then the other point is on the wall, how would you place that flat thing? Like there's a ton of degrees of freedom.
Right.
Like you can even twist it,
Uh-huh.
but we don't want to allow that. And then I don't think there's like a, well, maybe there is, but the analytical solution is not obvious and it's not trivial. So changing it to a tube may alleviate a lot of the problems.
And so does that mean that so it'll be a tube instead of a belt, that flat belt that will be instantiated to connect the two holes? Then where would you place the letters and the dishes? Would it be like on top of a round surface of a tube, or is it inside, or how does that work?
Well, I think the tube could be semi-transparent.
Okay.
Then you
Okay.
just slide the letters
Mm-hmm.
in the tube, and then the user can just their hands can penetrate through the tube and then
Okay.
the letters.
Okay. So good. And as long as the letter, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna ask, do you face the same issue with the orientation of the items that are moving along the tube?
Well, if your items is like little spheres, then there's no problem. And then you can like define what should I say? Like if it's a text mesh pro and then you have the orientation of that, you can always make it face camera.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, just out of my own curiosity. Xiaohan, have you taken a look just or worked with the spline orientation package?
Well, I am using the cubic Hermite spline.
Okay. So I was just curious because I was playing around with the spline instantiate component the other day. And I know it does allow you to align the objects to like the world space if you want to. But that's just on the surface level here. I wouldn't know if at runtime, if it does the same thing at runtime.
Well, I mean, the problem is for a spline, the only because it's 1D, the only thing you know is the tangent vector, but tangent vector alone doesn't define you the orientation of the belt. Because the surface of the belt is like parallel to the tangent vector of the spline. And then in terms of parallel, you can let it rotate 360 degrees once you define the normal.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just curious if that package helps at all, but cool, thank you. Just asking.
I think the challenge here is that because there's much freedom and that you can basically choose any spots around your 360 degrees, and that kind of,
that makes sense.
like you said, like, gets twisted and everything like that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, tube sounds cool too, as long as, and then probably it'll look more futuristic as well. And if it's semi transparent, you could just put your hands there. And like you said, we just have to make the TMP pros and the dish to face the camera, then we wouldn't have any problem.
And so the
mhm.
illusion of movement that gives the idea that this is a futuristic conveyor belt will be the movement of the objects themselves. Or do we need some kind of like, I don't know if we use a shader to like show it's moving forward or moving in a specific direction. But if
Mm.
the objects themselves are moving, then that would show that it's a conveyor belt type thing as well.
Yeah, now that it's a tube, then we have to think a little different design-wise, eh? Because
Yeah. But that would be something put on top of the tube. It's not
exactly.
the actual function.
We could have some kind of shader that has like arrow sign going either
Yeah.
that or because that could, however, it can make maybe people who's looking at it a little dizzy.
It could be, well, we can play around with it being very subtle or just not a huge
Okay,
visual
let me write that down.
eyesore.
So it'll be a tube. So Xiaohan, when you create it, would you be able to put a tube there so that can we put a tube from Unity? Are you able to create a tube inside Unity, Xiaohan?
Well, I'm thinking we probably want to build like little cylinders and then just connect a bunch of cylinders together.
Okay, all right. So it won't look like a donut ring, but it'll be a cylinder. So we only have to think about the rendering the outer part of cylinder, and then we just place a shader there to create that effect because we're not going to look inside, right? So okay,
Yeah.
Well, if it's transparent,
then but you will
never
always
mind.
be but you will always be looking in at the pipe through outside because you don't have access to the inside. So I think it
Right.
should be fine. Okay, so it'll be just a cylinder, and then we have to think about something about the shader going forward. But maybe we don't have to because the movement of the letters itself kind of can do it. But I guess having a shader could be good too. All right, we could contemplate that. Great. And so this if you put a pipe or the pipe there, they will solve the problem. And what do you think the time frame will be when you have, so now that if you put this type of pipe there, and now we have to start working on the the movement of the conveyor belt and also placement of the TMP pros and dishes. What's the time frame you're expecting, Xiaohan?
I think by next week there should be a prototype ready.
Okay, great. So prototype ready. So which means that it will be the pipe and the letters all moving, and you'll be able to connect it. So that's what you meant by prototype.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. Okay, so I wrote that down. Let me see one more. Okay. And that means then that means how about a voice SDK? Do you think we can work on that during the week of 22nd?
Yeah, I'd also suggest delaying that to the week of the 22nd.
Okay. So
And
there.
maybe you also want to like actually hear what they say next Thursday. And then I mean, if they really say like you want to create most of the things during those 4 days, then yeah, like I'm just a little worried. Like you create so many things before the hackathon, and then maybe in the end, they don't want you to use them.
I mean, this is something that how I view is that if you do once at least, and then you know when you have to replicate something, it's better that you do it at least once so that you are used to it, so you know exactly what to do during the competition, because you basically practice math questions all the time so that you can do well during the math exam. So that's how I view it. So if they say that we have to do it from scratch, but we already have a plan and we just execute it during that time so that we can make it a bit better. That's how I think about it. It's if you the worst comes worst that it has to with the scratch, then I just say it'll be practice and you replicate what you have done so far. Yeah, Kate.
Yeah, I also agreed. And plus, for example, during this weeks, we're doing a lot of like research on the SSDK. So for example, I didn't work before with OVR SSDK interaction and everything. But like during these days, like I was kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. Like in the internet, there's a lot of information which is kind of outdated. And during the hackathon, when you tried it out, it's like sometimes you're wasting time to figure out if it works or like it doesn't. But because we're currently doing it, we kind of diving deep to the topic, and we know what can work or what can like not work during the hackathon. So like this is why I agree with Viji.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why a lot of probably during these kind of things, a lot of the developers or designers who have a lot of experience, they can do it right away. Whether otherwise, the people without a lot of experience, they're a bit more disadvantaged. So in that way, I think we are better, more prepared for sure. So, but in that regard, with the voice SDK, so if you feel that you need more time, so we could definitely work on that during that time. But it's something that I would like to implement for sure, because it's quite important component when it comes to learning part. So that's that. So I'll try to modify that on Asana. All right. So what else is there? The third one. Yes, let's move on to Kate.
Letters.
Yes, the TMP Pros. I know that you were experimenting with. Oh, yeah, before moving on, Xiaohan, is there anything else you would like to say?
No, I think I'm good.
Awesome.
But I'll take a look at Voice SDK next week.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. And let's move on to Kate.
Yeah, so during this week I was like experimenting and like seeing the difference. Oh yeah, like the hand interaction, like how you grab it. I was experienced with the text. So is it like any difference, visual difference between the static or dynamic text in our case? And what I like figure out that there's actually no visual difference. Like here, I'm just like testing out like if anything I can see. This is the font from the asset which I used before for my Kenna Smash project. I'm not sure which font you want to use in that one. So
we could just go with the one that you suggested last time, because I find it very cute. So we could just, yeah, use that.
For my observation is that there's like several types of fonts which looks pretty good for our case. One of them, do you have the notes here? I mean, I think the light was, thin was looking, no, actual light, bold and medium. This is the best. For example, this one is light. It kind of like looks pretty cool when you inside the virtual reality. This one is medium. Like medium is pretty readable from the distance. So, and the bold, I think it's most like cuter. But the problem is that the lines sometimes you cannot see them. So like this is why I'm not sure about the bold, but the bold is cute. Also, what I was trying to check out is like if we can somehow customize it, and it's like it's pretty simple. So what I'm trying to see here is any difference between the dynamic and this static text, and basically there is no. So this is why, yeah, there's no difference. This is why my suggestion is to use actually static one. Because dynamic, while reading through the documentation, they like saying that if you if you spawning a lot of text, which is dynamic, then it can prefer, like your application will be prefer worse, because the way how dynamic fonts works, you have the empty atlas, and every time it kind of like checks what the scale of your text is, right? And then creating the atlas for it. So this is why it like looks pretty pretty good and pretty sharp because it's just like updating every time. The size. I'm sorry, I'm like not technical. I'm not like talking here technical terms, but it just more data per text.
Yeah.
This is why it's like not can be good for our purpose while we trying to respawn and spawn like new letters for the conveyor.
Specifically for conveyor belt, you're right. It's it can be
Yes.
static because we know exactly what letters will be spawned. We talked about this. I think we'll just leave it at that for it now. The only thing that I'm thinking is that because we will be using voice SDK and they would allow the customer or the chef to say something. And I was thinking that I don't know, probably this might not be executed eventually. That if somebody says like kudasai and then that gets translated into text from the voice to text, and then the person sees it, if the person actually said the chef said it correctly or not. In that case, it kind of requires we need us to have a font that's dynamic.
Yeah, we can
Right.
have both of them.
Okay. So
We-
just in
yeah.
case, just
It
in
just
case.
it just depends which you trigger in which like in what time. Like you can
Okay.
have dynamic for the subtitles, or or you can like have the static for like other cases. So just like depending like how you using them, but like you can have them inside your the project.
Gotcha. And then also because of time constraint, we could say just that, okay, if this is our plan for the future, like, we have this voice SDK where we just recognize the accuracy of the order, but later on we could do, let's say, from speech to text, and then the person can confirm what exactly they were saying so that they can learn from their mistake. So, and in that case, we'll use dynamic, and then it's good to know about this. Perfect. Then, and also the visual part of the sushi. So we
Yeah.
have the transparent semicircle dome thing that I have. We already have that, so you don't have to create that. We just have to focus on the TMP part of it, so that we have a plate and we have the dome. We just have to place it.
Yeah, the reason why like I played with placeholder, this is just my temporary placeholder for the
Oh, yeah.
letter. I needed to figure out like how to detect the hand hovering effect. Like so for example, how to detect that box is like the placeholder for Kana can detect that the hand was inside it, like or nearby. So the issue, like this is the similar thing what I was talking about, that it's like hard for me to like I don't know currently how to detect the interaction for the hovering. So I thought it's supposed to be like through the colliders, but like with a hand interaction, like with a hand input, the only way what was similar to the hovering was poke interaction. So like I try to use that principle, but like I recently like started to do it like last night.
Okay.
And while I was doing it, I figured out that the most tutorials again like outdated, so I couldn't like follow them out. So I started like reading the documentation and everything, tried things that didn't work, and today it's kind of like started working. Yeah, as always,
Okay.
as always like that.
So,
But if you know any like other solutions, or like if you know how to detect the hand input like that, the hand is inside the box, and based on this behavior, like it like can change things, because I need this data for my scriptable objects. Oh, actually, this week I also learned about scriptable objects. Yeah.
Yay.
A lot of learning.
Yeah.
This is like some of my data. Yeah, this is kind of data which I have. Characters, character audio, develop material, hover material. Why does it say? For example, if we go in here, Canon text. Oh, actually here. This is our like letter.
Great.
Okay. And this is another my question is, the thing is we're going to use how many letters? We're going to use 18 letters.
I
Uh,
think it's probably 17.
17 letters.
Yes.
Okay. But the thing is, you need to assign manually to like each
Yes.
letter. And if you wanna, I mean, for current purpose, it's fine. But like if we will have more letters, it will, you need to require like more manual work. So what I was thinking, maybe it's, what about like thinking about automatic detection? So for example, if like I wrote what I was thinking, if I write here like a character, right, then it will automatically like link all the required
I think there's
files.
I have seen a better where you can make an array or a list of things so that one scriptable object will hold all these characters. But I think Arjun has something he would like to share.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah. Okay. So
Yes,
I
like
just didn't know that. So
okay, so you can find the character from the list like using list.find function. I will share you that function. Like you just need, and also you can use the custom classes. Like you just need to create only one scriptable. In that scriptable, you have to take a variable which will be the custom class. Let me open the meta quest. Sorry. Format of logic, so you will get a better idea.
okay, I will stop sharing.
Yeah. Mm,
Oh.
Aw.
I know. Aw.
But then my another question is how to detect the combination of the letters. Like I was thinking about the string, like detecting the string, and then see if the specific combination of the strings would create the like check if the word in the list. I mean, I'm still in brainstorm phase.
But
for
I
that
understand
one.
what you're saying. So you're trying to see if the letters that you have required will match the question that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's also um I remember Alvin worked on this. So maybe you can take a look at his work too. Cause yeah. So basically it was more of slot that you where you placed and then kind of matched with the letter that was in place. There we go. So there's our scriptable object coming out.
Currently, I didn't make any scriptable object, but
Oh.
I make a custom class, and you can also use that custom class into the scriptable object. But my script is opening, right? So,
Also, Miji, I have
so
the question. Can you like
Yes.
share it then, like this recording
Yes, I
meeting?
will.
Okay, thanks
Yes,
so
I
much.
will. All right.
yes.
And then I will also share very raw my autopilot notes too, so
Mhm.
that you can take a look at it.
Thank you.
While that's being opened, Kate, is there anything else when it comes to the TMP and the scriptable object?
So
Okay.
here you can
Yeah.
Okay.
So here you can see I make a custom classes something like this. In that class there will be the variable and I am taking the list of that class into the another custom class. So it's become a nested class and you have to make them system.serializable. So you can like
View it.
see the value into the hierarchy. Like here you can see I make
Mhm.
a custom class of the dishes and here is the ingredient custom class. In ingredient custom class, there is the ingredient name, Korean name, and is taken bull. And I take all the and I take the list of the ingredients into the dish classes and also two separate variable like dish name and Korean name. And here is some operation which can help you to
Mhm.
find. Here you can see if you want to find by the dish name like I want to find the dishes from this list. Which dish name is like something like here is the green onion pancake, right? So if I want to find all the dishes, like I just want to find this dish via the name, so I will write this code. So something like here is the dish list, and just mm, write the find or equal to and greater than or dot. So or is currently is the object of the list. Like here you can see currently the list is this is the dish list. So you can access the variable of dishes like dish name or there is another thing like Korean name, dish name, and also ingredient list. And you can find like this. And also when you find, you will find the particular dish, something like this. So you can see this is the dish data, dish dish variable. Let me show you something like this. And here I find the dish like I find the dish from the list of the dishes using the current dish name. So you can use this type of code. If you have any question, you can ask me like
So it's like huge list. Inside the huge list, there's the list of the dish, and inside that list, there's the list for ingredients for that list. For this dish.
yeah, means the main objective is that you can handle that things via the custom classes. You don't need to do list into the list into the list, but you can make as your need. Yeah,
Which you can, I
because
believe it can be manipulated inside Unity, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and if you create the separate variables for all the letters, then it will be difficult for you to manage or do like this finding functionality. So for
Right.
my, my feedback is that if you can make only one scriptable, and in that scriptable, if you tag the custom class variable, then it will be good for you.
Yeah, I agree. So, would you be, because we have other things to go over, would you be able to communicate between you two so that you can, hey, do you
Yeah,
need
sure.
some help from Arjun? Awesome. All right.
Yeah, but I'm also like curious. So
Mm.
that one is for the ingredients, but like for example, what if I have the audio file, right? What if I have like other things which I wanna like, for example, I wanna say what type it is, but like what type it is can be like the dish list.
You can like add anything like materials, audio file, video
Oh,
file.
okay. And
It's
like,
not
but
limited to the text or string, bool, or integer.
Great.
so it's like,
Let's see.
okay, I will talk with you about like this
Mm.
letter.
Yeah, let's
But I
go
have some
over
questions.
other things for now. But thank you,
Yeah,
Arjun. And yes, I know, Kate, I know there are a lot of, maybe you could talk about it after we go over everything for now.
yeah, no, I have the questions for the tasks also.
Oh, yes, please do ask me.
Yes. So like while I was doing this, right, like while I was working um on my prefab Cortana placeholder, I have the question about the audio. Like, where should it go on the canna? Like on inside the canna, or it's supposed to be on the player rig?
I would say it has to attach. Please, others, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it has to be attached to each letter.
Each letter. So the issue with if it's like to the each letter, then for example, if the person, depending where the head is located, right, where the player is located, the letter would be, sorry, I meant this source, this like audio source. This is what I meant. So like it will be different, like the person would hear different levels of the audio compared of the head distance to the specific letter.
I haven't had that issue. It was for me whenever the audio file was attached to the letter, and if, for example, if you collide, because it's more of a hover, or because there's a collider, it's a collision. if that happens, the audio source happens, and then we set the volume just inside Unity, and if you want to, and then you were able to hear it right away at a consistent volume.
And the consistent. Okay.
Mhm. So it was always the same volume, because you could set that up with that inside Unity.
Okay.
Are you asking if we want to make a decision about whether or not the sound is spatial?
Yeah.
I don't think we have to at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's see.
And
I think
also,
it might be good to have it on the backlog just because that that sort of spatial audio can really add to the mixed reality immersion. But since they're all kind of in a circle around you, I guess they'd all be the same distance.
But I wrote it down, so
Okay.
we could do that as an option. Yes, and it seems, okay, you have another comment?
yeah, for now, currently I'm using my temporary audio files for the hiragana.
Oh,
But like you say that you have the ones which we can use already, right?
yes, yes. Oh, however, yes, that's something that I have to tell you about too. So finally, the question letters were finalized. So thankfully, so Kirk is Molly's friend, very good friend of hers, and I had to confirm all the letters and all the orders, whether it really suits with the Japanese culture, and then we actually had to make quite a we had to make some modifications to the change of the list, because it didn't really fit with the authentic Japanese culture, apparently. So finally, we do have the final question list. So I will have to import new audio files and also new what else? Yeah, new audio files. Yeah, and then I have to share the list with you, and that will be final, so it won't change. And yes, it will be spoken by native speaker, Japanese speaker, and then you will have that. And
That's
it
awesome.
should be in our audio branch. So not so updated version, it's in our Git branch. It's Miji and audio file, I believe. So you can, if you would like, you could access that too. I think actually Xiaohan, yeah, I asked Xiaohan to merge it, so it's already in the staging. There's that. Also, if you're already working on the if you're thinking of interacting with, like, oh, you got it right, all those kind of things, the reward sound, it's there too. And if you get it wrong, there's also sound for that too. So if you go into audio file and then inside the asset folder and then audio, and you will see there are 3 folders. So 1 letter, and then 1 for reward and ingredient order, and then 1 for roasting and 1 for getting correct. So you could always have the access to it. And I will be adding more sounds as we go along. Okay, so
Do we have both voice cues and like sound effects for those, or is it just one or the other?
the sound effects, oh, you mean, do we want that or not?
Like, is there a you got it and also like a bloop?
Yes. So we have
Okay.
you got it now. So we have like,
Mhm.
oh, you did it, or you got it. We have that sounds, but we don't have the special effect yet, because probably we need to add when there's hover, then maybe there has to be some other sound. You know what I mean? Like when you hover over some item, those kind of things we will have to think about a bit more, and then I will add them as we go
Yeah.
along.
We could also just have part of our hack the day plan of like this is polish time and these are the polish, like backlog polish
Mhm.
things.
Yes, we could do that.
We could
too.
split it up like that. I'm sure you're already doing it.
All right. Okay, and so show this out, and then the final list is all done. And now moving on to so I guess, Kay, so that means you haven't really got into the chef's table yet, right?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, how long do you think it will take for you to have that interaction? And now that we have the font decided, do you think you'll be able to probably study how you will be able to interact the chef's table?
So the current issue is detecting again like the hand, right? I mean, if I will be able to detect it and figure
Okay.
out like how to do that, the process will go smooth. Like I'm just currently like stuck on that one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And okay, then we have to think, we have to communicate about the timeline there, because we have the third component, which is the customer order, right? And that has to with the opening either what was it? Yes, I remember Arjun was suggesting about opening a new prefab instead of a new scene, or we do one scene and then we switch. So that's also the option that we have to consider. And I believe I asked Kate to do this, right? So we have to talk a bit more. Yes. Let's talk about design first, since the programming probably will come later. Molly, I sent you this morning, I believe, or last night, the characters that I think that we should consider. And then because there are 10 customers, but creating 10 environments will be too much. And we don't have a lot of time, unless you already have 10 of them. Maybe let's just go for 4 environments, and then we just rotate customers with all these environments so that we don't have to work too much about that.
Okay. I have a quick question for the group about implementation of these wormhole portals. Let me share my screen. Sorry. So can you see everything?
Yes.
Here? Okay. So this is a prototype of my question is when arrives the moment in the game where the portal opens up and you see the character and you see their little world. I know we talked about, Miji mentioned it being like it opens up to a scene somewhere within a scene within a scene, right? For the portal.
Yes, but I don't know. I think Arjun also talked about instead of using a new scene, maybe we can just recreate. We could use a prefab, so we don't have to bring a new scene entirely. But then the prefab itself will have that kind of 3D effect.
Okay, yeah. So this will work the same then. So we don't even need like to think about getting the camera's data or anything from the new scene. I could just build these little prefabs here, like this, right?
I think something I have to actually look into it, because I don't know whether you remember I showed you a video of a hologram and there was a cat inside, and then I thought that tutorial will teach you how to do it, but apparently it was just a holographic shader.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have to look into it, how it really works. It could be a new scene, it could be a prefab, but I'll talk to Arjun and I'll talk to Kate who shared the video, and then we'll share the information there.
Okay. I can be there for that, but it essentially would just be the process here so far is just, these are each their own little prefabs.
Yes, exactly.
So
This is exactly what I want. Something very small. Yes.
And then there'll be like either some walls or we can make an outdoor setting in here, and then the camera just sees, or the players turned facing the portal this way.
Yeah, it's something like that. It'll be like that.
Okay. Yeah, well, whenever y'all talk about that, yeah, if I'm free, I'll be happy to be there so I can make these for you.
Okay. Technique. So that's something so design is coming along. Great. And let's see.
Quick question.
Yes.
Do we have a script for the monster cues for Kirk if he has time to record?
So, yeah, I did tell him that it'll be dish order plus kudasai, very simply.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So he will be recording it starting today, because now that he has the final question.
So you don't want him to say anything like it's just directly just no hello or anything like that, or extra things, just the dish and kudasai. Okay.
Yes, because it'll be confusing for the chef who doesn't know Japanese. So I want it to be strictly just that. But however, I did ask him to like say something like arigato, like thank you, very simple things after the customer is served with a dish.
He was ready to do full on like voiceover.
I know, I could see from our meeting he was very I wish I could use it, but in the future that could be a possibility for sure, especially with the bountiful skills that he has. For sure, I would love to. Yes.
Well, he seemed very excited about it.
Great. Hopefully he's not too disappointed that it'll be only a very simple one. Yeah,
No,
because
he
it's
has
very
fun
geared
doing that.
towards our target audience is someone who doesn't know Japanese at all. So if there are
Yeah,
some
that makes
words that they
sense.
don't know, it'll be very confusing for them. Okay, that's that part. So the portal, we have to look into it, and then hopefully we'll have time to apply that. And then once that happens, it seems like then we don't really have. Then I'm a little concerned because we don't have this user the onboarding process where we kind of indicate, okay, this is the button. So once we have the prototype, then it has to be intuitive. We just go, and with the UI, we have to implement the UI so that people know exactly what's going on. Okay. I guess that's something that we have to talk next week. Yeah, all right. Onboarding, it's the time is getting tight. Then we don't need a conveyor belt, we just need a cylinder, so that's good. And what else is there? I think that's it, right? Let me just take a look at mine up on things. Butters, we're good. UI configuration hand. And yes, I think that's it. Oh, right. Okay, so now that we have the portal. Yes, Shawan, I have a question for you. So when you click it, the only thing that you will see beside the, let's say in your video was the square. And what do we see there? Is it just so will we only see the pipe, or we will see also some kind of scene behind it?
You mean like you want to see the skybox behind it?
So I guess that's the thing, because I don't know whether we will have time for it or not. So we will just have a circle that says, okay, this is your indicator where you selected, and then you just connect it with the pipe. Or were you planning to have some kind of feature that where we see a 360 video behind, or a new scene behind it?
Well, I don't think this one is worth that part.
Okay, that means we don't need 360 video. Okay, so we'll do that for maybe later. That part. 3D design selection, so we don't have to worry about that. And I don't think we'll have time to do a custom ordering audio clips. So audio environment design, we're doing that. Conveyor belt, so we don't have to worry about that either. Okay, I think we have gone over all the major things. Last thing, does anybody have any other comments?
We
or any
can do
questions?
this.
Of
Let's
course
go,
we
team.
can do this for sure. And I think we're doing quite well. So I'm really glad. And thank you so much yesterday for everyone's understanding and also your opinion. So hopefully
Mhm.
that everything is sorted out and that you have no other issues when it comes to forming a team and anything like that. And Arjun, thank you so much for helping us with the UI part of it. And we will work on the other online hackathon together. So it'll be awesome. And then I will talk about that for later time, and then we'll Discord, we will communicate on Discord, and I will individually talk to you. And also another news is that our brand new homepage is coming sometime next week. So stay
Woohoo.
tuned for that. I think that's
Exciting.
it for now. I know it's really exciting. I've been working for about 2 months or 3 months for the new design, so that maybe we can show it to Meta people. So it's very exciting for sure. So if you don't have anything, I'll thank you, and then we'll just communicate on Discord. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night,
Thank you so
Arjun, and
much.
everyone have a great day.
Yay.
Likewise, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.